just a question about how can a ordinary person do little things to become extraordinary?
Very good question. An act of quality. So how do we perform an act of quality? One example. There's a clock. Was this an act of quality? For me, it was an act of carelessness. There was no intention here. There was no presence here. Now, if I were giving this clock to someone I loved, or plan B, catch. So, an act of quality conveys intention and presence and serves necessity. But in order to change our world, there is a relationship between the amount of quality, which is ungovernable by number, multiplied to a sufficient extent so that the groundswell moves out into the wider culture and has an effect. So what will it take? Well, we begin with ourselves, with one small act of quality in our lives which moves gradually out to others. And in some events, and mixing metaphors, the event catches fire. Have you ever seen a performance with a musician and you went out an entirely different person to the one went in? Me, I'm one of them. Anyone else here? Yeah, there's a few of us. We witnessed an act of quality by a musician who was there to serve music and serve the audience. They weren't there to earn a living. They were there because they had to be. And if there was a little money available so they could go home and eat and pay the rent and maybe feed their children, well, wouldn't that be nice? But they're there because they have to be. So this is an act of quality. Thank you.
This is the lady who asked the question earlier on about ordinary people over there. I'm going to continue my trend of answering questions that have already been asked. Because I was sitting there during the interval thinking, I think the way you worded your question was, how can ordinary people learn to do extraordinary things? And my reaction to your question is that you're not ordinary. None of us are ordinary. I think we are all extraordinary. That's what's so wonderful. We're all extraordinary. And therefore we are all capable of extraordinary acts of quality. We are not necessarily all capable of those acts of quality that go off into the wider culture and change the world. But in a small way, we are all extraordinary and we're all capable of acts of quality. It's how I would have answered your question now that I've had time to think about it.